This is CNN accidentally tells the truth. You ready for this? Watch this.
$1 billion investment in Iranian oil by the Iranian oil and gas sector, by Russia. Will we see a renewed Iran-Russia relationship? And how can Iran justify supporting Moscow when it is attacking a neighboring country?
Ha!
Well, the Iranians never supported the war, but the Iranians believe that NATO is to blame even more than anyone else because NATO advanced eastward. I
like how she was sitting there going, "Oh shit, oh shit."
Yes.
Wait, let me back.
How can Iran? That's unbelievable.
She's sitting there going, "Oh, I asked the wrong question." Here we go.
NATO advanced eastward in contrast to what they promised the Russians. NATO helped bring about a coup in Ukraine, and we know about the right-wing groups that have been funded in Ukraine over the years that have been suppressing the Russian-speaking population. So, and NATO...
This is amazing that this is being said on CNN because they'll never bring on someone to tell you this on CNN, and so this is an accident. This is called a gaffe. And what is a gaffe in Washington? It's when someone accidentally tells the truth. And so that guy, they accidentally let this guy on CNN to tell the truth. And that's, she's like, oh.
Why did she think, I don't understand the premise that she was going to like Russia shame Iran? Like,
yes.
How do you justify, because we hate you? Could you ruin it? Like, because we're always mad at you? Why would we not do that?
I don't know why she thought this was going to work, but here we go.
Never supported or pushed Ukraine into accepting the Minsk Accord. If they had, we wouldn't be in this mess. So Iran sees it as complicated, especially since NATO invaded Iraq. They've been helping the Saudis in the genocide in Yemen, and also they were supporting Turkey and supporting these extremist groups in Syria. So for Iran, the issue of...
I like when he says things that just completely devastate her argument. And you just hear her go, You want to hear it? Let me back it up.
That's her?
Yes.
I thought you were doing that to make fun of it.
No,
that's her making that noise.
That's her doing that noise. Let me see if I can get back there. Oh, it's not working.
Syria. So for helping the Saudis in the genocide in Yemen, and also they were supporting Turkey and supporting these extremist groups in Syria. So for Iran...
we're committing a genocide in Yemen. Yep, that's right. We are doing that.
The issue of Ukraine is complex, but the relationship with Russia is booming. It's growing very rapidly. Both sides are very keen on completing the north-south transport corridor, and as you pointed out, there's a deal to invest $40 billion in Iran oil and gas fields. And I think that will create a big shift in the relationship. Of course, that doesn't mean that Iran doesn't want to improve relations with the Europeans or to have the JCPOA, the nuclear deal, signed or reinstated. But the Iranians feel that the Americans have yet to gain the political will to give the assurances that the Iranians need for the deal to be reactivated, especially since it was Americans that left the deal.
Right.
Right. Now let's remember her original question.
$1 billion investment in Iranian oil by the Iranian oil and gas sector, by Russia. Will we see a renewed Iran-Russia relationship? And how can Iran justify supporting Moscow when it is attacking a neighboring country?
Oh, that fan basket she made. What a douchebag.
It's like she doesn't realize, the Iran, the country that he's there to represent, it's right next to Iraq. Oh, whoopsie daisy.
I know.
It's right next door. They have the first two letters are the same. Iran, Iraq. They're the same.
Was it a sovereign nation?
So that's the kind of shit you get on CNN. That's amazing so that guy will never be allowed on CNN again. And I'm going to guess that woman will be reprimanded and she will be sent to sniff backpacks in Syria.
I hope someone speaks to her about it.
Yeah, I hope so. It's like, hey, we have a backpack here. We think it has a deadly chemical on it. It's your job to sniff it now, since you let that guy from Iran tell the truth. Who is that guy, by the way? His name is Syed Mohammad Marandi, born in 1966 in Richmond, Virginia. He is an Iranian-American academic and political analyst. He's a professor of English literature and Orientalism. That sounds wrong. At the University of Tehran. Also, so he's born in the United States, and he's a professor in Tehran. So there you go. And that's from Zygmunt Brzezinski. The most dangerous scenario for the United States would be a grand coalition of China, Russia, and perhaps Iran, an anti-hegemonic coalition united not by ideology, but by complementary grievances. That's what Zygmunt Brzezinski said, who's an expert on this foreign part of the country, part of the world, former advisor to Jimmy Carter, right? Isn't that who that is? And isn't that Morning Joe Ball's wife's father?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's who that is. Morning Micah's dad?
Yeah, it's Morning Micah's dad. So it's not only Russia, China, and Iran, but it's Russia, China, Iran, India, Italy, Venezuela, the global south. So it's much worse. So this big idea by demented Joe Biden and his neoliberal handlers to do the Ukraine war and try to sanction Russia is completely backfiring. For who? For us. Now, the rich oligarchs don't care what actually happens. Because it's not going to affect them. And it's going to affect you. It's affecting you right now. They're doing this to you right now. And of course, the corporate media is not going to tell you about it. We have to show you a clip that's famous. Why? Because you never heard that on corporate media.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, the actual reasons why we're in Ukraine, the actual reasons of what's happening. You never hear that on the news media. But they called me a spreader of misinformation. The biggest spreader of misinformation is the government and the corporate-owned media. There's no bigger than them. They'll lie about. They're lying right now about Ukraine. They're lying about Joe Biden. They're lying about Syria. They're lying about Yemen. They're lying about Russia. They're lying about Putin. They're lying about inflation, gas price. They're lying about There isn't a thing that the media isn't lying about.
How do you lie more than Putin? Like they gave a KGB guy.
That's right.
Like, I can relax and not lie so much. It's nice of you to take the burden of that. I can just say things now. Like,
I like how they try to make out Putin to be a worse guy than any American president. Every American president is a war criminal. Barack Obama presided over the drone program, which killed 90% innocent people. So what Barack Obama was doing was going into malls and slaughtering people. So when you hear a shooter do that, it's the worst thing in the world. But Barack Obama does it with a drone. No one gives a shit. But if you did it with an AR-15 style weapon, everybody would be clutching their pearls. And rightly so. But if you do it with a drone like Barack Obama, no one gives a shit. Barack Obama dropped more bombs than George Bush. George Bush, the war criminal, ordered a torture program to cover up his war. That's right. And he opened up a torture facility, which is still open to this day and operated by the U.S. military in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Can you imagine if Cuba had on Long Island, they had a torture facility and they were torturing... They were torturing people from Western countries on Long Island. And we bring them there to torture them. That's what the United States is doing. I'm sorry, Kurt. You want to say something?
I forgot. That's really funny.
So that's what happens when the truth slips out on CNN. And now you know why they want to shut shows like this down. Because they don't want any real information ever getting out. And YouTube is owned by Google, which is in bed with the CIA and the military-industrial complex. And don't be a chump by thinking, why would the CIA want to mess around with the biggest social media platform in the world? Why would the CIA want to put their fingers in that? Back here in Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati, Tulsa, Oklahoma City. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our shows.